How's it going, vaqueros, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Lockwood 680 again, one of my favorite guns in Warzone currently, and we're going to be talking about Dragon's Breath. I don't think I've ever mentioned it really much at all for Warzone in particular with this particular gun, which is kind of crazy, and a lot of people don't really seem to be batting an eye to it. So with today's video, I'm going to share with you guys why you should be using it, and also talk about some potential downsides to it, and then I'll give you my idea whether or not it's actually worth it in the long run. So if that sounds good to you, let's just go ahead and hop right into it. So the first thing I'll do, as always, is talk about the damage and the ranges. So out to about that 3.5 meter mark, this thing does 200 base damage without the burn. Now with the burn, it gives it anywhere from 10 to 20 extra points of damage, sometimes even 30. So you could do anywhere from 210 to 220, even 230 at times. It's very inconsistent. I don't know why it is, but yeah, it does basically deal more damage than your base ammo, which is really cool to see. Now out past 3.5 meters, out to about the 7.9 meter mark, barely missing that 8 meter mark, you basically only do 136 base with all of your pellets. Now no, that is not a two-shot, but if you include the burn damage, again anywhere from 10 to 20 to 30, you can actually get a two-shot in this range. And this is actually the longest two-shot range you can get with any of the heavy-hitting pump actions or double barrels or anything like that. This is the setup you want to be using if you want to get the best two-shot potential, and it's out to about 7.9. But if you stack on that big barrel, you can get it out to about 9.5 meters, which is definitely to where the Lockwood 300 used to be, and the old Brysons from Modern Warfare 2's version of Warzone used to be as well. They have quite a bit of range, and this thing also does have a lot of range, at least in regards to a two-shot kill. Now out past that 7.9 meter mark, out to about 14, it deals 68 base damage, which is not very good, and past that it's dealing like 32 base damage. It's really not good. This is something you do not want to be caught at range with at all. I know you could kind of get away with it with the Brysons if you had a good shot and you could just kind of get 3 shots, but this is not going to be a 3-shot kill. Do not try it. So if you want a particular class to run that's kind of fun to try out with this thing, here is the build that I was able to build out. This is just one particular iteration. The Bryson Hammerforged long barrel is going to be key to getting that 9.5 meter two-shot, which is really good. Then we have the Crown Breaker choke. I just love the Crown Breaker choke because I don't like to aim down sights as much anymore with shotguns. I typically tack stance, so this is a great attachment for that. And then of course we have Dragon's Breath and the other really useful attachments like the sawed-off stock, and of course that Express light bolt attachment. If you want to try something a little bit more mobile friendly, you could basically take off that barrel and just equip the Demo X40 tactical pump. Yes, you have less range, but you're getting a great sprint to fire speed bonus, so it's really helpful if you're a very aggressive player. Now overall, it probably sounds to you like, why should you even bother with the base ammo now? I mean, you get such a great two-shot potential with this thing, great range, it's got a ton of damage, so what's the deal? Why would you even bother using the other ammo type? Well, I'm going to tell you, and that's because this thing is very inconsistent. And the problem isn't necessarily the range, it's that in that second range, that two-shot potential from about 3.5 to 7.9 meters, since you only deal 136 base damage, you really have to rely on that burn, and the burn is very inconsistent, and you're also doing less damage per pellet than the base ammo in its first drop-off, because compare it, I mean, you do 200 damage with the base ammo, and this you only do 136, so you can see there's definitely a little bit less forgiving of a nature with this type of build. Even though you do have that great two-shot potential, it's very inconsistent. With the base ammo, it seems to be much more forgiving and also a lot more consistent with its two-shot. Even though the two-shot doesn't go quite as far, again, it's only out to about 6.8 meters compared to that 7.9 meters with Dragon's Breath. Even though it's not quite as far, it is much more consistent in my opinion. So now I guess the big question is it worth running over the base ammo? And as much as I talked it up, no, I really don't think so. I really think that the base ammo is still the way to go, and you're much better off using that attachment slot for getting something with a better sprint to fire speed or better aim down sights or better range or something like that, because Dragon's Breath is very inconsistent. If you kind of had to weigh the pros and cons, with the base ammo, yes, you have less range, but you deal more damage per pellet in the ranges that matter, and even though your two-shot isn't as far, like I said, it's going to feel so much more consistent, and you don't have to rely on a burn to get you there. So if you miss a few pellets or whatever with Dragon's Breath, you're going to notice it. You will very much so notice that you missed a few pellets, but with the base ammo, it's a little bit more forgiving and overall just more consistent, again, despite having a little bit less of a two-shot range potential. That being said, it's still fun because it's Dragon's Breath and there's flames, and then of course bodies sometimes ragdoll from the burn effect, which is kind of hilarious. So I would say just try it out and see how it feels for you. Another good alternative if you're looking to find a good class, instead of rocking the Crown Breaker Breaker choke. If you want that really tight aim down sight spread, you can just use the Bryson choke instead, because since you're only going to be using the Crown Breaker choke to help with that tack stand spread, it's not going to be quite as tight as the Bryson choke's full aim down sight spread. So that might help you hit that range a little bit more consistently because it is very, very tight. But overall, I'd still say you're probably better off with the base ammo. So overall, that's pretty much going to do it for this video, guys. I hope it was actually informative and you guys learned something about Dragon's Breath. It seems like it'd be a good option on paper, but in practical sense, it just kind of falls short a little bit, and you're probably better off with the base ammo. But as always, I want to know in the comments, what do you think about this gun with Dragon's Breath? Do you still prefer the base ammo like I do? Do you actually find Dragon's Breath to be really good? And also, do you miss that 10 pellet barrel as much as I do? Because I sure as hell miss it. And with all that being said, guys, I will see you in the next video.